Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Robbie and here I'm going to explain about algebra basic, and specifically about function. Outside of the realm of math, the word function simply refers to what something does. But in math, the word function has a more specific meaning. So, what is the function?
In math, a function is basically something that relates or connects one set to another set in a particular way. A set is just a group or collection of things. Often it's a collection of numbers, but it doesn't have to be. A set could be a collection of other things like letters, names, or just about anything. A function is something that takes its value from an input set and relates it or maps it to a value in an output set. Obviously, a function relates a number of an input set to exactly one member of an output set. The input set is usually called the domain, and the output set is usually called the range. And it's really common to see some all of a function inputs and outputs list in what we call a function table. A function table normally has two columns, one on the left for the input values and one on the right for the corresponding output values. For the example is y equals 2x. In this equation, if we treat x as the set of numbers that we can input, the domain, and y as the set of numbers that we get as outputs, the range, we can make a function table to show some of the possible input-output combinations. For this function, we could choose any numbers at all for the value of x. But to keep things simple, let's just try inputting 1, 2, and 3 as values of x. If we input the value 1, or in other words, if we substitute the value 1 for the x in our equation, then we get y equals 2 times 1, which simplifies to y equals 2. If we input the value 2 into our function, we get y equals 2 times 2, which means y equals 4, so the output value is 4. And the last, if we input the value 3 into our function, we get y equals 2 times 3, which means y equals 6, so the output value is 6. See the patterns. For each input value, the output value is twice as big, which is what we would expect because the original equation says that y, the output, is equal to 2 times x, the input. In other case, if y squared equals x, the x variable in this equation will be our set of inputs, and the y variable will be our set of outputs. If we input an x value of 4, then y equals 2 and y equals min 2 are both possible solutions to the equation. So in this case, for each values of x, then we input into the equation, we get two values of y as the output. Therefore, it's really not a function, because a function relates a number of an input set to exactly one member of an output set. So far, we've been writing function like this, y equals 2x. But the really common way to represent a function is f of x equals 2x, because f of x equals y. This notation simply means that a function named f takes an input value named x and gives an output value named y. For the example, f of x equals 3x plus 2. If we input value 4 by saying it's f of 4, that means you'll substitute a 4 in place of any x that are in the function. For this function, that would mean f of 4 equals 14. And we could do this for other values too. F of 5 equals 17 and f of 6 equals 20 and other values too. To understand further for the function, so let's resolve any function problems. Number 1. f of x equals 2x minus 3. Find f of minus 3. For this case, the value of x is minus 3. So we can substitute minus 3 to x in the function. F of x equals 2x minus 3 equals 2 times minus 3 and then minus 3. 2 times minus 3 equals minus 6. Minus 6 minus 3 equals minus 9. So the solution for f of minus 3 for this function is minus 9. Next, number 2. For the function f of x equals 3x squared plus x minus 5, what is the value of f of 4? For this case, the domain value is 4. We can input 4 into x in the function. F of x equals 3x squared plus x minus 5 equals 3 times 4 squared plus 4 minus 5 equals 3 times 16 plus 4 minus 5 equals 48 minus 1 equals 47. So the solution for f of 4 in this function is 47. Let's go on to number 3. F of x equals 2x plus 5 equals 25. What is the value of x? A. 2, B. 5, C. 10. For this problem, we have known the output is. The output for this function is 25. We must to find the value of x as input. So we can substitute any choices into x in the function. Firstly, we choose of A. Let's substitute 2 in the function. 2x plus 5 equals 2 times 2 plus 5. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 plus 5 equals 9. And 9 is not equal to 25. So choice of A is false. Next to choice B. We substitute 5 into x to function. 2x plus 5 equals 2 times 5 plus 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. 10 plus 5 equals 15. And 15 is not equal to 25. So choice B is false. Let's go on to answer choice C. We substitute x with 10. 2x plus 5 equals 2 times 10 plus 5. 2 times 10 equals 20. 20 plus 5 equals 25. Because 10 as input equals 25, so the value of x is 10 from this function. So the correct answer is C.
Perhaps that's all I can say. I hope you understand. I apologize for any mistakes. And please correct me if I'm wrong on the comment box below. And as always, thanks for watching and see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.